All right. Hello again, everyone. It is Russ here with yet another one. Okay. Today we are going to start. Yes, this is going to be another Russ going over Bridget's true crime stuff. Now, apparently, not only has Bridget been going real wild with the Ebony cases, there's also a thing that Bridget did about somebody named the Zodiac Killer. Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer is the pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who murdered five known victims in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October 1969. The case has been described as arguably the most famous unsolved murder case in American history and has become both a fixture of popular culture and a focus for efforts by amateur detectives. Okay. Wanted by the FBI. The Zodiac's known attacks took place in Benicia Vallejo, unincorporated Napa County, in the city and county of San Francisco proper. He attacked three young couples and a lone male cab driver. Two of these victims survived. The Zodiac coined his name in a series of taunting messages that he mailed to regional newspapers in which he threatened killing sprees and bombings if they were not printed. He also said that he was collecting his victims as slaves for the afterlife. He included four cryptograms or ciphers in his correspondence. Two were decrypted in 1969 and 2020, and two are generally considered to be unsolved. In 1974, the Zodiac claimed 37 victims in his last confirmed letter. This tally included victims in Southern California, such as Sherry Jo Bates, who was murdered in Riverside in 1966. Despite many theories about the Zodiac's identity, the only suspect authorities ever named was Arthur Lee Allen, a former elementary school teacher and convicted sex offender who died in 1992. The unusual nature of the case led to international interest that has been sustained throughout the years. The San Francisco Police Department marked the case inactive in 2004, but reopened it prior to 2007. The case also remains open in the California Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, the city of Vallejo, as well as in Napa and Solano counties. All right. Oh. Okay, the Male Terror, based on true events, Northern California, 1968 to 1970.
He mailed his terror, and the world opened it. This is how fear learned to speak. In the late 1960s, Northern California was a region in transition, a place of peace movements, flower children, and late-night drives under endless stars. But beneath that calm, something else was stirring. A figure emerged from the darkness, one who seemed to thrive on fear. He called himself the Zodiac.
The Zodiac Killer seems to crave publicity. He sent letters and cryptograms to newspapers and the police, recounting his crimes, threatening more murders, and making Bay Area residents very edgy.
Okay.
Killing wasn't enough. He wanted an audience. He sent letters, ciphers, and strange symbols, turning his crimes into a conversation with the world. And the worst part, he was winning. Tonight, we revisit one of America's greatest mysteries, not through the eyes of the killer, but through those whose lives he changed forever. The fog lifted. The fear stayed. December 20th, 1968. The night was cold and quiet on the outskirts of Vallejo, California. The kind of night you could hear every rustle in the dark. Betty Lou Jensen was 17, a high school student with a bright smile and a love for art. She sang in the church choir and talked about becoming a designer. David Ferre, 16, was her real first boyfriend, a Boy Scout, and a solid student who planned to join the Air Force. That Friday night, they were supposed to go to a Christmas concert with friends. Instead, they decided to take a short drive out to Lake Herndon Road, a quiet, winding stretch popular with teenagers looking for privacy. Sometime before midnight, a car pulled up beside them. Shots rang out. When police arrived, David was found beside the car, a single gunshot wound to the head. Betty Lou lay 28 feet away, shot 5 times in the back as she ran. It was a brutal, senseless crime with no motive, no witnesses, and no clear suspects.
Uh-huh.
Investigators searched for explanations: jealousy, drugs, robbery, but nothing fit. The murders of 2 teenagers in small-town Vallejo sent shockwaves through the community. Parents stopped letting their kids go out after dark. The story dominated headlines for weeks, and the quiet California countryside began to feel less safe. No one knew it then, but this was only the beginning. The Zodiac's first strike in a reign of terror that would haunt California for years to come.
Uh-huh.
And somewhere on that dark road, a conversation with the world had begun. July 4th, 1969. While most of Vallejo celebrated Independence Day, 22-year-old Darlene Farron was finishing her shift at a local diner. She was a young mother, bright, funny, and the kind of person people described as having endless energy.
Uh-huh.
She adored her little girl and was saving up to open her own business someday. That night, she met up with her friend, 19-year-old Michael Mago. They parked at Blue Rock Springs Park, a quiet spot just a few miles from where Betty Lou and David had been killed 7 months earlier.
Oh.
Around midnight, another car pulled up behind them. The driver turned off his headlights, sat silently for a moment, then drove away, only to return minutes later. This time, he stepped out with a flashlight and a gun. He raised the light, erased their sight, and fired. Darlene was hit several times. Michael was shot in the jaw, neck, and shoulder,
Oh,
but
no.
managed to survive.
Oh, no.
He later told police the attacker was calm, heavyset, and wordless, as if he were doing a job he'd already practiced. About 40 minutes later, a call came into the Vallejo Police Department. The voice was low, controlled, and emotionless. I want to report a double murder. If you go 1 mile east of Columbus Parkway, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. When officers traced the call, it came from a payphone less than a mile from the station. Whoever the killer was, he wasn't running. He was directing. The following month, letters began arriving at Bay Area newspapers, signed with a strange crosshair symbol and written by someone calling himself the Zodiac.
Oh.
The killer now had a name and a voice, and he wanted everyone to hear it.
Oh, I bet he
On
did.
August 1st, 1969, 3 nearly identical letters arrived at the offices of the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each one of them began the same way. This is the Zodiac speaking. In those first few words, he gave himself an identity, a title that would soon dominate headlines across America. Each letter contained a section of a coded message made up of 408 strange syllables. The Zodiac demanded the newspapers print his ciphers on their front pages, threatening to kill again if they refused. The message wasn't cracked by police or FBI. It was solved by a school teacher, Donald Hardin, and by his wife, Betty, working late into the night at their kitchen table. Their solution read, "I like killing people because it's so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all." There was no signature, just the eerie confession of someone who wanted to be feared, not caught.
Okay.
As the letters continued, Zodiac's messages grew darker, taunting police, describing crimes in chilling detail, and boasting of future victims. He threatened to shoot children on school buses, causing parents to keep their kids home in panic. And then he started to fixate on specific people. Reporter Paul Avery of the Chronicle received a Halloween card covered in skeletons and the words, "Peekaboo, you are doomed." From then on, Avery carried a gun to work. Zodiac wasn't just murdering people. He was manufacturing fear, turning the Bay Area into an audience for his cruelty. Every new letter brought chaos. Newsrooms flooded with calls, police departments on edge, and citizens glued to the papers trying to decode the next threat. The Zodiac had transformed crime into performance, and like any performer, he craved attention. Each taunt, each cipher, each symbol, all of it was designed for one thing: to remind the world that he was still out there.
Uh-huh.
The fog had found its voice, and California was listening.
Oh.
September 27th, 1969. A warm Saturday afternoon at Lake Berryessa. A quiet escape about 80 miles north of San Francisco. College students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were enjoying a late picnic near the water's edge.
Mm-hmm.
Brian was a law student at UC Berkeley, thoughtful, kind, and known for his dry sense of humor. Cecilia was a UC Davis student, calm, creative, and full of quiet confidence. They talked about school, the future, and nothing in particular. But as the afternoon wore on, Cecilia noticed a man standing in the distance, watching them. He moved closer.
Oh.
At first, they thought it might be a park ranger.
Uh-huh.
But then they saw what he was wearing.
All right, hang on. Let's see. So there's another thing. I'm trying my best to get the Jim Matt mystery, The Death of Kendrick Johnson, out by Sunday, but life has been wild lately, so it might slip to Monday or Tuesday. I appreciate everyone being patient while I finish this one up. It's an important story. Okay. Yeah, that's another one for me for this morning. I hope you all have another great day. As always, I will see you. Bye.